Many people find it hard to believe we are living in the last days of Earth's history. Here is what the Bible says about them. Knowing this, first of all, that scoffers will come in the last days with scoffing, following their own sinful desires. They will say, "Where is the promise of his coming?" For ever since the fathers fell asleep, all things are continuing as they were from the beginning of creation. 2 Peter 3 verse 3-4. The coming of the Antichrist is a sign of the end. Children, it is the last hour, and as you have heard that Antichrist is coming, so now many Antichrists have come. Therefore we know that it is the last hour. 1 John 2 verse 18. Did Jesus say when the end of the world would come? Not exactly the date or the time, but he told us the events that will mark the end of the world. And this gospel of the kingdom will be preached in the whole world as a testimony to all nations, and then the end will come. Matthew 24 verse 14. Men posing as Jesus will try to deceive people in the last days. At that time, if anyone says to you, "Look, here is the Christ," or "There he is," do not believe it. For false Christs and false prophets will appear and perform great signs and miracles to deceive even the elect, if that were possible. Matthew 24 verse 23-24. There will be signs in the sun, moon, and stars. Immediately after the distress of those days, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light, the stars will fall from the sky, and the heavenly bodies will be shaken. At that time the sign of the Son of Man will appear in the sky, and all the nations of the earth will mourn. They will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of the sky, with power and great glory. Matthew 24 verse 29-30. What moral conditions will be characteristic of society near the end of the world? But mark this, there will be terrible times in the last days. People will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boastful, proud, abusive, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful, unholy, without love, unforgiving, slanderous, without self-control, brutal, not lovers of the good, treacherous, rash, conceited, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, having a form of godliness but denying its power. Have nothing to do with them. 2 Timothy 3 verse 1-5. An increase in knowledge is a sign of the last days. But you, Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, until the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall increase. Daniel 12 verse 4. What other signs of the last days does the Bible mention? There will be signs in the sun, moon, and stars. On the earth, nations will be in anguish and perplexity at the roaring and tossing of the sea. Men will faint from terror, apprehensive of what is coming on the world, for the heavenly bodies will be shaken. Luke 21 verse 25-26. Talk of peace and safety are a sign of the last days. For you know very well that the day of the Lord will come like a thief in the night. While people are saying, "Peace and safety," destruction will come on them suddenly, as labor pains on a pregnant woman, and they will not escape. 1 Thessalonians 5 verse 2-3. What are people to do when they see these things taking place? Therefore, stay awake, for you do not know on what day your Lord is coming. But know this, that if the master of the house had known in what part of the night the thief was coming, he would have stayed awake and would not have let his house be broken into. Therefore you also must be ready, for the Son of Man is coming at an hour you do not expect. Matthew 24 verse 42-44. Hope these verses help you to understand events and signs that marks the last days. God bless you.